In order to conduct the speaking sessions in the classroom, the teacher needs to have conversation and dialogue activity in the classroom. But this conversation and dialogue activity has a purpose, and the purpose is to emphasize upon pronunciation and intonation. So what is suggested is that when the teacher is having a particular conversation or a particular dialogue with the students, then she has to divide the purpose of her conversation and dialogue. For example, if she is carrying on with some conversation, she tells the student that we have to focus on pronunciation in this conversation. She cannot bring all the topics together for the students to emphasize upon or to focus on, because it would become a bit difficult for the students to do that. So one thing, one time, one thing, one time. So what she does is, basically, she does a conversation and the students listen to the conversation, and then she tells them again to listen to the conversation and focus on the pronunciation of the words. Sometimes there are audios available in the classroom and the teachers can use these aids. These audios are very useful for speaking activities. But in those schools where audios are not available, these aids sometimes are not available in certain schools. No problem for that, because these skills have always been taught for years and years, even when there were no audio aids available in schools. So at that time also, the teachers would read the conversation, ask the students to focus on the pronunciation of the conversation. Similarly, when she does the next activity, the teacher is advised that she can tell the students that this dialogue activity, they need to focus on the intonation of the words, and provided the intonation is very clear for the students. We as teachers cannot expect that our students would be learning something which we are not really telling them. And not even telling them, an example is very important. If the teacher is using the intonation herself, only then the students would be able to follow that intonation. If she is not using the intonation, she cannot expect her students to be following any kind of intonation, because they won't have an example of that. The audio tapes for speaking usually have a good example of intonation and pronunciation both. There is a question always when I am doing the speaking sessions. The teachers, they tell me that in different accents, the words are pronounced in different ways. There's no harm in that. The teachers should not really worry about it, because according to my experience, English has many accents, even in the Great Britain, in the States, in other countries like the Middle East, Malaysia, Europe. So the accents may be different, but the basic understanding the student needs to have is about pronunciation. So if the word is being pronounced according to the Oxford Dictionary or some other dictionaries which carry authentic understanding of pronunciation, then it is just fine with it. The teachers don't need to worry about the accent, because of course with different accents the word seems to be pronounced in a different manner. But basically we have to follow the rules which are given in authentic dictionaries, and the teacher can get a good help from there. Moreover, it is a good exercise to listen to the English news on TV or radio, because usually the English news readers, they have a good sense of pronunciation. And luckily in Pakistan, I think we have very quite capable news readers, and one can get a good understanding of the words. And the students should be also advised to listen to these news, and that is supposed to be the authentic language that the words should be pronounced in that manner.